the weak disappear. Tonight, we will witness the hottest battles in all
Hello, Murder Squad.
The goddess of victory is waiting to descend upon
How
the ring.
are we doing today?
Fans,
Hi,
are
Beardy.
you ready? Are you ready?
Time to let loose
Labu,
and
labu, labu. We are playing Persona Arena Ultimax today.
Right on the heels of the last one. These warriors will create another legend.
And as we do with every Persona game, we listen to the intro.
These are battles of honor, battles of will. Sparks will fly.
It's Kanji with the chair.
Some fight for glory. Will this be decided by pure muscle, or will a battle of wits determine the outcome? Things are heating up! Tonight, who will win the title of champion? Who will be crowned with the winner's wreath? Whose tale of glory will resound for generations? All that remains are the dreams of the warriors. As the Grand Prix plunges into its final chapter, the P1 climax is...
barely getting started!
Woo! All right.
Persona 4 Arena Ultimax.
Well, that's Junpei's voice. Let's see. Controller's been disconnected. Bullshit. Unless you died. We'll see. All right. We're back at it like Cleopatra. And we were playing Akiko. So, not the one I wanted. Let's get right in so that I can play my girl Aigis. Alright, I gotta do the voice. I land near a classroom that seems to be partly below ground level. I look through one of the windows. Though the interior is odd, it looks like it's a music room. The window's closed, but it's still just a glass window. If this was a real school, I'd hesitate to do this, but hey, this is a fake world. Scusi. I rear back and put my fist through the window. That's a felony.
Whoa! What the? Who are you?
Oh, my boy. I love him so much. There's someone else already inside the room. He's a well-built young man in a school uniform.
Huh? You're that guy from the video.
Did you just come falling from up there? What's going on? Answer me!
I remember now. You're the blood-curdling beefsteak emperor.
Hell no, come on! Did you even try to remember my name?
So that P1 Grand Prix thing has already started.
I recall the rule that those who encounter each other must fight. The general said that only the winner can proceed. I decided to see if those rules are still in effect and reach towards the exit of the music room. I feel the same wall I felt earlier barring my path. The same goes for the window I came from. It's irritating that I have to follow rules and fight, but since the walls can't be easily destroyed, I've got no choice. I don't know what kind of circumstances this kanji guy is faced with, but if we're gonna fight, we might as well do it right.
Hey, take off your clothes.
Uh-oh. Hi, J-Mick! You came at the most interesting of times! Welcome!
What the hell? How can you ask that straight out?
What's wrong with what I said? Won't it be hard to maneuver wearing that?
Oh my god, I'm so frazzled right now!
Maneuver?
Why is he getting all flustered? I don't know. His face is red. Maybe he's just not feeling well.
What are you all flustered for? I'm talking about your jacket. If you don't wear it right, it'll get in your way during the fight.
I'm gonna eat a hot dog in the meantime!
My jacket? You just said that to begin with? There's no real meaning behind this. It's like, just the way I wear it.
It's plain weird.
Whoa! Leave him alone, Mr. like, sweater vest bitch.
Says the guy who's half naked except for a cape.
Seriously, you're ridiculous. It's bad manners to jump out a window like that.
The general makes a disgusted face and seems pretty upset about me mucking up his plans.
Sorry to say, I've never been big on manners. Too bad things didn't go your way.
We'll see if you can keep that attitude up for long. You must fight whoever you're paired with. Now get started.
Whoever you're paired with. I understand that, but I can't attack someone who doesn't have the urge to fight. I turn towards Kanji to spur him on, but his expression is completely different than it was before. The redness in his cheeks is gone, and there's a fire in his eyes that almost seems murderous. Looks like there was no need for me to worry after all.
Jeez, you keep saying the weirdest crap. Looks like I'll have to make you leave. Let's get this started, Capey.
What, now you're interested? Alright, come and get me.
You're not really strong anyway. You're just a fake. Nothing worthy about it.
What's that supposed to mean?
It is a goddamn virus.
Shut up! Why not ask yourself that? Here goes.
Ah! Okay. Scusi. Oh my god, like, take off your clothes. A dick is a song in sheep's clothing. A song means a dick is on its way.
Finally. Fight!
I mean, I still feel like my brain is taking a while to comprehend, like, what just happened. Oh my god. Ah, I got grabbed. Ah! It's quite the start, yes. I don't even know how I'm supposed to respond. Man, Akihiko's playstyle fucking sucks. He's such a weak fighter. No wonder he challenges everyone. He actually genuinely needs to because he can't get fucking stronger, apparently. That's right, I fucking said it! I take a deep breath next to the collapsed Kanji to lower my heart rate and wind down from the battle. Then, I calmly re-examine my surroundings. During the battle, I had noticed that the spectating students had changed into something completely different. They're not humans. They're silhouettes shaped like people or something. I don't know why they're showing their true form now, but that's fine. If they're not human, then there's no need to worry about them. I'll just leave them be. And if they happen to turn hostile, I can easily crush lifeless creatures like that. Kanji regains consciousness. He's recovered much more quickly than I was expecting. Probably because your hits are fucking ass. Yeah, pretty much. You have the right of it, like, nothing's impressive in this instance.
It's amazing. So this is what you meant by going at it with nothing to hide.
I will say Yosuke's fight style was the most fun. It was just fun to be like, pew, 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 you know?
When did I say that?
You're one passionate guy. Guess you're no ordinary pervert.
Oh, since when am I a pervert?
I'm eating a hot dog. I have a late dinner. Kanji flashes a bright smile that's different from the one he displayed before the fight. Anger and hatred had fled his body entirely. Now that the fight is over, it seems like he's got spirit.
Ow! Man, for a dream, that sure hurts.
Oh! The dream subplot.
Huh?
Yeah.
That's weird. How come a dude I've never met before is here in my dream?
I cooked up the Red Hots for dinner for myself. They're so fucking good. That little bit of like spicy heat. Oh, delicious. I definitely recommend that if anyone's ever like interested in trying some like new hot dog wiener kind of situations, I recommend actually trying Red Hots. Like literally the casing of the sausage is fucking red. Got a little bit of heat to it, a great crunch to the texture of the casing. It's just all I want. They're really popular in, I think, Maine or something. But you can find them from time to time. It's kind of hard, in my opinion, to find them because of they're more of like an area kind of thing. But once in a while, you can find them at some certain markets. We got ours at a Tony's grocery store, which I don't know if that's like a nationwide store or what, but I do know it's a chain in the very least, so I recommend it.
Dream? What are you talking about? Aren't we inside the TV world?
Yeah, if it was Dream, we'd be cheating.
Huh?
It's a meta commentary.
The TV world. If you can dream with your eyes open, I'm pretty impressed.
What? You're inside the TV? I seriously thought this was all a dream.
Doesn't seem like Kanji's acting. He honestly seems to think that this entire thing was all a dream. I thought that the people in that promo video were related to the general, but maybe everyone here was actually dragged into this by force. If so, I can't abandon the others who were in that video either.
Hey, do you have any idea who the other people in that video were?
They were pretty much all my friends, but... Oh, crap.
Kanji clutches his head as something occurs to him. This seems quite serious.
Thought this was a dream, so I kinda sorta beat the snot out of a couple of them.
Well, if they lost to someone who was half asleep, they'll just have to suck it up.
You think so? Things are just that black and white to you, huh?
Seriously? I thought it was going to be some super important information. This Kanji guy's been yanked out of his normal life into this weird situation. Yet he seems oddly blasé about it.
Wait, if this isn't a dream, then Ted and Rise are really hosting it?
General Teddy. The other Teddy said that he was a fake.
A fake? You're kidding me! How'd he make such a perfect copy of the bear suit?
That's the part you're hung up on?
But yeah. They're hardly twisted bastards who enjoy watching friends crush each other.
You seem pretty sure of your friends.
Based on your area, Jamick, you might be able to find them at a festival. I know that's your state's thing, more so.
Man, the things I went through with those guys. And here I thought you were a pervert who wasn't listening to a word I said. Guess I had you figured wrong.
Looks like this guy's having a tough enough time just changing the way he thinks about me. Maybe he's just an idiot. Yeah, go look at the sausage section. Festival seems pretty similar to Tony's, so that might be the case. The way his expression changes to that honest and relieved look when he's talking about his friends. Seems like he has friends that he can really trust. If we'd met under less dangerous circumstances, I wouldn't mind sitting around and chatting with him for a bit. But I have a duty to attend to right now.
By the way, have you heard the name Labris anywhere? She's supposed to be somewhere in here.
Huh? Lab rat? What?
I see. Well, if you don't know, don't worry about it.
And with that, I leave Kanji and begin walking towards the door. Kanji calls out and stops me.
Hey, wait a second. You haven't told me anything about you. Who are you? What did you come inside the TV for?
There's no point in explaining.
What?
Kanji attempts to stop me, but he changes his mind. His expression tells me that he's not satisfied with this outcome, but he swallows his frustration and takes a seat on the ground. Since he's fought against a number of people already, he must understand that he can't proceed on because he's lost. You might have, but I forgot, so that's super cool. Kanji looks directly into my eyes and speaks up.
Well, I was the loser here, so I can't complain. This isn't a dream, and my friends are in trouble.
That's all you need to say. I answer with a smile.
I know. I won't let anything happen to him.
The way you fought says it all.
You suck. I can't believe I lost to you.
You can't throw punches like that without a shitload of training. You can feel your determination behind every one.
Yeah, the same's true for you. Good work.
Aw, this is wholesome. Praises exchanged after trying to beat each other senseless. We have a moment that only those who have just brawled against each other can share. Kanji skills are exceptional for a high school student. When I was in the boxing club, there was only a handful of guys who could stand to trade blows with me like he just did. Considering that he's this good with his self-taught fighting skills, there's no question that he'd become an unparalleled fighter if he had proper training.
But you should be careful. My friends are hella strong, you know? If you're not careful, you'll be eating pavement.
Was that supposed to be a genuine warning for me, or was that a boast about how great his friends are? Either way, I can understand the feeling behind his words, so I smile back at him.
I don't know about that. My fists can't be stopped that easily.
That fist can't be stopped. Ugh. There's nothing more I need to say to Kanji. I turn and begin running down the hallway. Well, yeah. Unfortunately. Sometime after parting ways with Kanji,
This is pointless.
I'm still wandering aimlessly through the skill building. I have no idea if the path I'm taking right now is correct or not, because the invisible wall keeps getting in the way. I spot another window and reach towards it.
Guess they fixed that little loophole.
You know, I wonder, how to put this. I can't remember what the character's name is in the answer. But did she have a Greek name as well? It didn't take them very long to put invisible walls over the windows. Just as I pull my hand back, the PA system blares.
No more breaking the rules. Seriously, why can't some people follow simple directions?
You act like I ever intended on following your rules.
The fact that they've gone to the trouble to correct their oversights means that limiting our movement must be very important to them. They don't want to let us escape. So that probably means that there's something waiting up ahead that they've placed there for me. What was her name again? I follow the path dictated by the invisible walls until I reach a classroom. Metis. Oh. Yeah. I remember. Zeus liked a lot of things. A lot of people. A lot of nymphs, a lot of mortals, a lot of... Yeah. Is this where they want me to go? Who we fight?
Akihiko, you're all right.
Oh no, we have to fight Mitsuru!
Then again, seeing you isn't necessarily cause for celebration. If we're both here in one place, that means...
Yeah, looks like it.
Who I found inside the classroom was none other than Mitsuru. Normally running into her would be a great relief, since it would give me a capable ally. But since the stupid P1 rules are in effect, that isn't the case here.
So, you're my next opponent.
this is exactly what the enemy wanted.
When Mitsuru makes this bitter declaration, the monitor inside the classroom turns on. I already knew who I'd be seeing. It's the general.
Ta-da! Well, this is about to get real interesting. An unwanted battle between friends. I I hope you two enjoy it to the fullest.
Is that supposed to upset us? Can you believe this guy, Mitsuru?
This certainly is an unwanted battle between friends. I have no intention of fighting against Mitsuru. Do you think... Now, I can't remember this. But was Midas an older... addition than Aigis? I guess that's a question. I'm not sure how to word that. Sorry. It certainly is an unwanted battle between friends, and I have no intention of fighting against Mitsuru. But we both understand what needs to be done in order to accomplish the mission. There's no way we would allow a little something like this to shake our resolve. But oddly, when I look back towards Mitsuru, I see you're looking at me with pity.
I'm sorry, Akihiko. I believe I may have driven you into a corner.
Huh? What do you mean?
I should have realized much sooner. It's not strength you truly desire. What you really want is to forget your fear of losing others. That's why you throw yourself so fervently into your training.
Okay.
It's a twisted form of escape. At the very least, you can allow me to put an end to such things.
Forget my fears of losing others, huh? As Mitsuru well knows, I have lost countless things up until now. Like this one girl, like, I kind of thought that we maybe might date. And then my best bro, Shinji, just apparently was dating them. We didn't know because he was in a coma and she didn't really talk about it. Goddamn. And then she just dies. Like, what the fuck? And that anxiety that I've buried somewhere in my heart may strike at me at any moment. But the Mitsuru I know wouldn't bring up something like that at a time like this. It'd be obvious to any friend of Mitsuru. There's something going on here.
Teddy and Kanji also started getting personal before the fight. Is this some kind of trick?
I've got no idea what you're talking about. Sounds to me like she means it.
Sure. Akihiko slow.
I don't know what you're up to here, but you're gonna have to try harder. It's fine, though. I'll just take this chance to enjoy some serious sparring.
Those who encounter one another must fight, and only the victor may proceed. Since this rule still stands, we've got to fight. We've removed any choice we had. I turned to face Mitsuru once again. There we go.
There were a bunch of people I wanted to fight once I got back to Japan to test my skills. And you were at the top of the list, Mitsuru. Didn't think I'd get a chance so soon, though.
Mitsuru takes her stance without saying a word. The tension of battle sends a tingle through all my muscles.
Here goes, Akihiko.
Come and get me, Mitsuru!
Final. Fight!
Kneel before me.
Oh god. We gotta beat the shit out of her, bestie. Okay.
I'll fight to the bitter end. I'm coming for one mistake. Better luck next time. I'm happy for you. Freeze.
Oh my god, finally.
What a rare, close battle. You both fought well.
The battle is over. I glance down at Mitsuru. She keeps her firm expression and opens her mouth.
I yield. Your skills have improved tremendously, Akihiko.
Yours too. I was really worried there that you might execute me.
Mitsuru gives me a wry smile. That's the Mitsuru I know. So her odd behavior prior to the fight was all that general's work. I wonder.
Mitsuru, what did I say to you before the fight?
Oh no.
Huh? Why do you ask? As I recall, you said some unkind things about my late father.
I knew it. Of course, I have no memories of saying anything like that because I didn't. The general's probably got some trick that warps the opponent's reality so that good friends will hate each other. Maybe it was all an illusion. I don't understand how it all works, but there's one thing that I'm absolutely certain of. Mitsuru and I turn towards the monitor and smugly smile at the general. His little gimmick was completely useless. General Teddy can barely contain his hatred as he responds.
How? How can you fight without holding back like that? People hesitate more when they face their friends. They break down. They suffer. So how come you aren't suffering? Why? I don't understand.
I'm not surprised. Anyone who needs to trick people to get his way wouldn't understand. Our bonds aren't that...
After the general glowers at us, the communication cuts off. Suffer, huh? The general is going on about making us suffer earlier. Is that why he has us all fighting here? To make us suffer? But then, why would he steal Labris?
Akihiko, let's compare notes. I want to confirm our situation.
Right. Although I don't have much for you.
I give her a summary of everything I've figured out up to this point. Since Mitsuru's persona has a search ability, I'm sure she's been able to gather much more information than I have. She seems to already know everything that I've discovered, so Mitsuru fills me in on what she's learned. Aigis is safe, though neither of us have encountered her. All the high school students in the commercial seem to be persona users, and the general seems to be gathering persona users into this world. Unfortunately, neither of us knows what his intentions are. But more importantly, where's Labris?
Did you find Labris?
Aigis seems to have made contact with her. She seems to be calling herself the student council president of the school.
Right?
In fact, she's going so far as to play the part.
Like, he'd have to, like, move his arm up, then take it out. Like, normally it would be lower, like, near the ribs, right? But that's, like, straight up in his armpit. Look at this. Like, that would have to be lower.
Play the part.
She seems to be unaware that she entered a TV. It's possible that someone forced her in here, but that doesn't explain why she's acting out a role in school life.
I have no idea what that could be about right now. This place is a school, but it's still just a copy of a school in another world. Yeah. It's pretty rough. What kind of school life could possibly be here?
And one more thing. I heard a strange
One
voice.
more thing.
I'm not certain, but it's most likely Labris. Either her inner thoughts or her memories. It was a voice of deep sorrow, suffering, sadness. It was so vivid I wanted to cover my ears.
Mitsuru cast down her eyes as if reliving the pain. A great portion of Ergo research data was lost because of the actions of a former researcher. He was the mastermind behind the events 3 years ago. All of this must be mortifying for Mitsuru. That man is the reason why her family was taken from her.
If that was truly Labris, then she's practically human. She may not be that far behind Aigis in terms of mimesis.
Sure, Aigis' sister unit would have a mind. But does that mean the older version is more advanced?
Doesn't seem likely, but I can't say for certain. Still, I'm only speculating. But I feel like her deeply negative emotions are connected to this tournament.
Connected how?
Do you really think Labrys was stolen? The general seemed to want to make us suffer rather than eliminate us. Would a thief wish for that? Or draw in unrelated high school students?
I see. That General Teddy's actions do seem in line with what Labrys wants. He actually may in fact be Labrys.
It's possible that Labrys regained consciousness much earlier and escaped when she was being transported.
I can't deny that possibility right now. But there's something else I don't know.
Mitsuru, you're doing your brow furrowing thing again.
What? That doesn't matter right now.
You're overthinking things. All this conjecture and speculation will drive you nuts. Let's pick this up again once we defeat the enemy.
This year's always been like this. She imagines worst-case scenarios that haven't even happened yet, and burdens herself coming up with contingency plans based on them. Even though she doesn't necessarily stop moving forward, it certainly does weigh her down. Sometimes we need that hard-headedness, but there's a time and a place for it.
Ever think that maybe it's you who's underthinking things?
Anyway, there's no time to lose right now. You know where the enemy is, right?
Yes, I've traced its location. It should be nearby. I will leave the rest to you, Akihiko. Don't disappoint me, all right?
As Mitsuru says those words, her expression softens a bit. Seems like I've been able to reach her.
Ha! Of course not.
Mitsuru has grown as well. She's changed since that battle 3 years ago. Now that I think about it, a lot of time has passed since then. None of us have remained stuck in the past. We've all changed. I part ways with Mitsuru and hurry on ahead. According to Mitsuru's search, the enemy seems to be nearby. The enemy is waiting for their encounter with us as well. Well, that's one wish I won't mind granting at all. Just as I reach the top of the stairs, a loud noise punctuates the atmosphere. Is someone on a rampage with their persona? No, that's not it. It's the sort of sound that like a massive object creates upon impact. I hear it again coming from the room ahead. There are no invisible walls that prevent me from making my way towards the sound, and I finally reach my destination.
The announcement room. Here we go.
The monitors and PA system must have been controlled from this room. Took me forever to figure that out, literally right before I went in there. I grabbed the door handle, but it won't open. This is different from those invisible walls, however. It's just an ordinary door. Sorry if there's a broadcast going on, but I'm going to have to punch my way in. Ew. It's interesting how Teddy's room was the only one that was different. And I don't know why.
Whoa! It's that red cape guy I saw earlier!
Everyone inside immediately wheels around to face me. There are 2 female students before me. One of them I recognize from the video, but the other is an unfamiliar face. It's my first time seeing her, but I immediately know who she is. She looks just like a regular person aside from her mechanical parts. It's Labrys. And General Teddy.
So it wasn't Labrys after all.
Immediately, General Teddy, who's glaring at me, begins to change. Oh, we're gonna just go straight into the cutscene, like, fuck it. Right in. Oh, there it is. Sailor Moon. Anyways, we've seen that so many times. I think we're good.
I am a shadow. The true self.
Lies and slander. Slander and lies.
Another Labrys.
Well, this is completely unexpected. I can't even come up with the reason why something like this would occur. Maybe this is another one of his illusions. No, if that were true, what I'm seeing would be more direct assault on my inner thoughts. I started inventing and discarding possible reasons for what's happening. Eventually, I just cast aside all my theories. I take a deep breath and call myself. What is my objective? I was summoned to retrieve Labrys and to prevent any danger from spreading. Doesn't matter if there's 1, 2, or 21 of her. My initial objectives are unaffected, and I will give everything I have to complete my mission.
Fine. I'll just calm them both down.
Sensing the hostility directed at me, I smile, eager for a fight. To be continued? Yep. We get to meet Aigis! Look at her! She's perfect! She's beautiful in every way.
Are you awake?
I'm sorry. I had turned off my consciousness to test the new equipment installed on me.
Yes, that's why we use the emergency channel. We have been asked to go into action.
I'm sorry. That voice.
Has something happened?
We'll brief you on the details in transit. Also, regulations say that the member with the lowest serial number is in command. Currently, that's you.
I'm in command? Are you sure about this? After all, I'm...
You're well suited for it, in my opinion.
Understood.
May 1st, 2012, 9:30. Okay. That's what I thought. I was like, fucking Adachi? What? Men equipped with assault suits and tactical vests line the concrete ground. Their urban camouflage and unmoving poses give them the appearance of an orderly line of rocks. 30 minutes have passed since the special assault team took up their positions on the landing strip surrounded by the stopped passenger plane. Their captain glares at the plane before he slowly turns around and looks at each of his men. Every last one wears ski masks and thick tactical visors to mask their identities, but he knows them nonetheless.
Tell me about the situation and make it quick. We don't have much time.
One of the team members steps forward. The touchscreen tablet in his right hand has a summary of the case on it. On May 1st, 2012, around 0900 hours, a wide-body passenger aircraft headed for Kagoshima sent out a 7500 squawk code during passenger boarding. Following the signal, the captain reported to the control tower that their aircraft had been hijacked. Since the uprising occurred during passenger boarding, only half of the passengers, 168 exactly, had boarded. The 10 crew members brings a total of 178 hostages thought to be on board. Some passengers seated near the hatch had succeeded in escaping. The following points were gained from questioning them. Take care not to be seen by the hijackers. There are 3 hijackers. All of them are covering their faces with ski masks. All of them are armed with what seem to be pistols. From their voices and builds, they appeared to be males. They all spoke fluent Japanese. Currently, the aircraft in question has moved to the front of the landing strip at the hijackers' insistence and is stopped there. The authorities have attempted to negotiate with the hijackers by radio, but they have made no demands. The team member finishes his report. The captain nods silently and addresses his team.
There hasn't been a plane hijacked in this country in over 10 years. None of us, not even me, have dealt with this before. Still, the procedure remains the same. Trust yourself, remember your training, and keep a cool head.
The captain turns towards the plane again. Taking that as a cue, the team scatters to their specified posts to take up positions. The only thing to do now is to see what happens. Eventually, 10 o'clock comes around. Half an hour has passed with no new developments. Repeated attempts to contact the hijackers have been made, but they have yet to make any demands. Tensions are beginning to rise. The worst-case scenario is that they have no need to make demands, that their objective is to seize the passenger plane itself. In this case, the team would be facing a large-scale terrorist attack.
Come on, talk to us.
The captain mutters to himself, deep in thought. From the perspective of rescuing the hostages, every second that passes without learning the hijackers' objective is a second wasted. The captain and his team can wait in hiding, but the same is not true for the passengers on board. For untrained civilians, extreme stress can easily lead to physical and mental problems. It's true not only for the hostages, but for the hijackers as well. When people lose their nerves, they tend to act rashly. The hostages will begin to lose hope, and the hijackers will begin taking it out on the hostages. An hour into the incident, anything could be happening inside the plane. The captain could do nothing but glare at the time ticked by. After 15 more minutes had passed, a slight change in the situation was reported. All emails and calls going through the stations near the airport are being checked, but at the moment no messages are thought to have been sent from inside the plane. It appeared that the hijackers had confiscated all cellular phones, as per standard hijacking plans, but...
Sir, there's a report from HQ. They picked up a transmission from one of the passengers' cell phones. It's a smartphone with GPS, so they can tell it's inside the plane.
Confirm those details for me.
There are two possibilities. The hijackers are using a passenger's phone to contact associates outside, or a passenger is contacting someone in secret. The latter possibility is more likely. More and more devices have communication capabilities now, making it extremely difficult for hijackers to remove them entirely from play. And the more hostages there are involved, the more courageous they become, and more likely they are to take risks. Unfortunately, more hostages involved means it's all the more dangerous to provoke the hijackers. Each individual hostage is worth less to them. The details of the transmission make it apparent that the situation is worse than the team assumed. The cell phone's owner is a man in his 60s in first class. He signed up for a certain service after being diagnosed with a heart illness. It's a remote EKG monitoring service that keeps track of the patient's heartbeat. A scheduled message was automatically sent from the patient's cell phone. The service provider promptly contacted the police, informing them that the man was in bad shape.
If we don't wrap this up within the hour, looks like we can't stall for time.
As panic spreads, a proposal for negotiations based on this fact and proposal to storm the plane are both considered. But because only half the passengers had boarded, the situation inside the plane is uncertain, making devising a tactical plan difficult. Though if nothing is done, a passenger will surely succumb within an hour. A blunder like that must be avoided at all costs. That was the thinking that guided the police officials to make their decision. That same day, at 10:30...
What? Withdraw? This is a hijacking! What are you thinking, withdrawing our people? Yes, I understand.
Wait, what's going on?
Orders are orders. We'll fall back at once. Get ready.
No one understood the situation withdrawal order. Why withdraw the team during a hijacking? No one on the scene agreed with the decision, but the order could not be overturned. The men here are not the brain, but limbs whose power is best put to use by precisely following orders. Just then, another group approaches without a sound. Its members are dressed differently, in suits and trench coats, but all of them are wearing black sunglasses. At a glance, it is clear that they are tall, well-built, and used to rough situations. With nearly 20 of them gathered in one place, they are imposing, despite their silence. They don't seem to be the airport personnel, but neither are they known to the police. But the captain senses they are in the same line of work and approaches.
Who are you?
His voice is laced with suspicion, but the man at the head of the group speaks dispassionately, as if he's heard
For
nothing.
the next half hour, we're in command of this scene.
You didn't answer the question. Who's responsible for this?
The captain's tone unconsciously hardens. The group of men in black parts, and one of their number in the rear, steps forth. The captain can't stop himself from furrowing his brow. He can already sense the unrest spreading amongst his team, who watches in silence. The one stepping forward looks like a 17 or 18-year-old girl. She is dressed in black and wears sunglasses, like those around her, but her slender build is out of place. Her blonde hair stands out even more in contrast to her all-black outfit. The girl walks a few more steps forward and removes her sunglasses. The captain had intended to appraise the look in her eyes, but only gasps in the face of her crystalline blue. He quickly regains himself and frowns.
So you're the one in charge?
Yes.
Are you shitting me?
There is no time to waste quarreling.
The girl looks at him fearlessly, despite the armed team surrounding her. The absurdity of it all is what helps the captain get over his surprise. Her age and appearance are most likely meaningless. She is clearly no ordinary girl.
Are you not even gonna tell me who you're with?
I cannot.
So you expect me to hand over control of the scene to you without even telling me who the hell you are?
I believe orders to withdraw have already been issued.
Her calm, sweet voice only irritates him. The captain closes the distance to the girl. While he stops short of grabbing her suit, he glares into those blue eyes from only inches away.
Lady, I don't know what kind of juice you have with the brass, but are you ready to be responsible for the deaths of those passengers?
Your protests are doing nothing to relieve the danger. Rescuing them as soon as possible is or rather, our duty.
The girl is completely unruffled as she speaks. It's like she's a machine or something, the captain thinks, more dumbfounded than angry.
Have faith in us. We too wish to save them.
For the first time, something like determination flickers within those crystalline eyes. After looking into them, the captain finds something akin to resolve and confidence in them. He steps back. Raising his hand to his chest, he shows the girl his watch.
Right. But you got exactly 30 minutes and not a second more.
Understood.
After the girl nods, she gives instructions to prepare a stair car to the group she is leading. The captain's fist tightens nervously. Since there are few uses for a stair car, quietly moving it in place may make the hijackers think that a strike team is getting ready to storm the plane. But there is no hesitation in the girl's actions.
Well then, move in as naturally as possible while staying in their blind spots.
Eventually, a roofless stair car advances slowly towards the passenger plane.
Closest we can get without them noticing will be about 10 meters from the plane.
That will be more than enough.
More than enough. What's the point of half-assing it like that? The captain's annoyance began to turn it to curiosity. If she is replacing the SAT, then she must have a plan beyond simple brute force. How else will we find out how smart the children are, after all?
Now, let's begin.
The stair car stops. The girl gets out of the driver's seat. She walks slightly behind the vehicle, turns towards the passenger plane, and squats down.
What's she doing?
The captain brings up a pair of binoculars to see what she will do. At first, he assumes she is going to use the stair car's movement as a decoy and send her team in from a different direction. Like humans, most vehicles have significant blind spots above and underneath. Yet that doesn't seem to be her plan. Does she plan to make her move while using the stair car as cover? Is she possibly going to snipe them? The captain discards the possibility. It would be foolish to set up a sniper perch at a lower angle of elevation where the girl is now. While the captain mulls over the question, the girl makes an unexpected move. She appears to lower her stance slightly one moment, and in the next she is no longer in sight. Yeah, it's very nice. It is very, 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 very nice. I like Aigis in a suit. By the time the captain realizes she is running, she has already reached the top of the stair car. Her slender body launches like a cannonball from the top of the stairs.
What? She jumped?
Oh, Aigis. Even the SAT members voice their surprise. The girl's leap arcs a distance from over 10 meters. It's clearly beyond the capabilities of a human being. Coming in the middle of a hijacking, the scene seems even more surreal. The girl lands on top of the aircraft and stands as if nothing unusual has happened. She looks at the aircraft beneath her and slowly turns her head to scan it from back and forth. It reminds the captain of the movement of a security camera. He knows it should be impossible, but he wonders if she can see through the plane's ceiling. Eventually, the girl seems convinced of something and begins walking. When she reaches the boarding hatch at the front, she moves her right hand to the back. The captain notices that a special knife coated gray from blade to hilt is in her hand.
What's she gonna do with that knife?
The girl suddenly lowers her stance and slides down the side of the aircraft. Just as she's about to fall, she thrusts the knife into the jamb of the hatch and dangles from it.
This is crazy.
She then uses her left hand to pull the handle and unlock the hatch with ease. Once the thick, airtight door juts out of the aircraft, the girl nimbly jumps into the plane. The captain is shocked by her dauntless methods. He begins to wonder if she intends to defuse the situation on her own. The captain lowers the binoculars and faces the reality before him with his own eyes. Who in the world is she? The doubts he had dismissed rise within him again. A warning light goes on in the cramped cockpit. Two people there notice it at once. One of them is the captain sitting in the pilot seat. The other is the man holding a gun to the back of the captain's head. The light is labeled Hatch Open. Even an amateur could understand what it means. The man suddenly tenses and stands ready at the passenger side door. He prepares himself for someone to charge through it. But he quickly regains composure and turns the gun back to the captain. The man casts irritated glances back and forth between the captain and the door for a while, but eventually approaches the door, his gun pointed at the captain. He cautiously cracks open the door and looks towards the passengers' seating. Just outside the cockpit is the first-class section, but the passengers were gathered in economy class at the time of hijacking. First class is empty. The man squints. To ward off observation or worse, snipers, the window covers were down. Coming into the darkened plane from the bright cockpit forces his eyes to adjust. But from the corner of his eye he sees a gleam of light shining in that's unlike the regular ones, and within the light is a silhouette. Before he can react, the silhouetted figure closes the distance. A hand grabs the edge of the door and opens it with tremendous force. Two quick, heavy blows follow. The man collapses without a sound. The captain turns around and surprised to see the intruder, a blonde girl with an index finger to her lips signaling silence. She first lays the man on the ground and then removes the pistol from his hand. On closer inspection, it is only a model gun, supplemented with metal parts. The seam between the parts is in different places compared to a real gun. If taken apart, the disassembled pieces would look nothing like a real pistol. The girl then takes handcuffs from a small pouch on her waist and fastens the man's arms to a seat leg near the window. Even if he wakes up, he will be unable to stand. Though the captain still looks as if he wishes to say something, the girl's eyes meet his and insist on silence as she leaves. The curtain dividing first class and economy class is closed. The girl hides herself behind it and peeks through. There is a man in each of the aisles on the left and right. Neither seem to have noticed her. The passengers and cabin crew are crammed into seats in the back. Everyone's placement matches the readings of what her heat sensors picked up from above the plane. Both remaining hijackers are closer to first class. The man closest to her is only a few steps away. She judges he can easily be disabled if she moves quickly. They both carry pistols, but they are the same type as the downed hijacker. From what she can see, these two are mere model guns. The girl swiftly pushes aside the curtain and grabs the closer man's right wrist. The hijacker, caught off guard by the sudden appearance of such a slender girl, stops moving for a moment. He surrenders any chance of victory he may have had. With a pained cry, he drops the pistol to the ground. The girl uses her grip on her right hand to put him on the ground, then smoothly pulls out another pair of handcuffs and locks him to the arm in the passenger seat. What if it's just like a bunch of fucking handcuffs in Aigis' pockets? Just keep pulling one out, like, Here's a handcuff. Here's a handcuff. Just keep going. The man thrashes about, but despite his struggle, he is no better than a worm writhing on the ground. The last hijacker finally recovers from his shock and aims his gun. That's true. The girl pulls a button from the other man's sleeve and flicks it towards her opponent's face. The button travels at an immense speed, though it was only launched from her fingers. The man tries to shield his face, but he is too late. He groans in pain when the projectile strikes his forehead, and he dies. The girl does not let the opportunity pass. She easily jumps over the 3-seat-wide center block of seats with one arm and grabs the man's right hand. There she repeats the same procedure she used before. Their weapons are immediately seized while they are restrained on the floor. The passengers are only now grasping what happened before their eyes. A murmuring chorus rises.
Do not be alarmed. Your safety has not been secured yet, so please stay calm and remain in your seats.
The passengers erupt in a cheer. There is sporadic applause as well, but there is a slightly hysterical tinge to it in reaction to the tension of the situation.
Excuse me. We were told someone requires medical assistance for their chronic heart illness. His name is...
Just as the girl approaches the center of the plane, she senses a male passenger stand up from his seat. He is extremely calm and quiet as he does so. The girl belatedly picks up on the incongruity. All of the other passengers are nervous. It is then that she feels something hard pressing up against the back of her head. She knows without looking at it that this is a muzzle of the gun. The nearby passengers' cries of relief suddenly turn to
I am
screams.
impressed with your judgment to stay hidden until an opportunity arose.
The girl is unperturbed as she continues to look straight ahead. The man stays silent and keeps the pistol pressed to her head. She knows there is no danger of being shot, but she is not yet sure that he was the only one in hiding. Left with no choice, the girl accedes to his demand and moves forward. After about 10 steps, another man stands up as expected.
And you too.
The man doesn't answer. He slowly approaches from the front. The girl is now sandwiched from the front and back. At that moment, footsteps sound from beyond the curtain leading into first class. The two culprits both react at once, but it is too late. Over 10 men in black rush in at once from beyond the curtain. While the girl had drawn the hijacker's attention with the scuffle, the stair car had closed in. First, they pinned down the man standing in front. The narrow passage gives the man behind her a short reprieve, but it doesn't last long. The moment he lowers the hand gripping the pistol in order to escape, the girl grabs his wrist. So focused was he on the men who burst onto the scene that he forgot about the threat the girl posed. He is immediately tripped and restrained once he falls on his back. The girl stands up and looks around. If there were any more hijackers inside the plane, this would be their last chance to make a stand. But no one rises from their seat. She glances towards the men in black and they nod back in acknowledgement. It seems the crisis had been averted. The girl carefully keeps her thoughts from appearing on her face and gives an inner sigh of relief. Soon afterward, the sweeper team gives a report confirming that the aircraft is secure. The girl works with the cabin crew to arrange transport for the man with the heart illness before she steps out for a moment. She stands on the stair car, turns on a blue designator light, waving it in circles towards the SAT's position. It is the signal that the crisis is over.
She's done already?
On receiving the sign, the SAT on standby start talking amongst themselves.
It hasn't even been 5 minutes. There should have been at least 3 hijackers.
You know what they remind me of is those guys. Like Men in Black or something.
Captain, who are those people? Is that one even human?
The captain sighs with reluctance.
This is just a rumor, but I've heard that the higher-ups formed an unofficial security group in conjunction with a certain corporation. It's supposedly for cases that are a little strange. I hear they have some official standing with the police, too. Though it's all some private enterprise, so technically, there's no authority involved at all.
What? But this is Japan we're talking about.
A search and destroy unit that answers to no department and keeps no records. I've heard them called shadow operatives.
Bam, bam, bam. He turns on his own blue light as a signal of understanding and waves it left and right. The response light comes from up ahead. The girl then sees the captain spreading his arms in a shrug and smiles for the first time. She feels slightly bad for them. Her team may have slammed them, though they had done nothing wrong, shamed them. I should apologize to them later. But then, out of the corner of the girl's eye near the entrance of the luggage carts, at the corner of the building, a figure catches her attention.
A girl?
Oh, look! It's like the same dress that Aigis was in. That's cute. The girl seems to be about her age and is wearing a plain, cape-like dress. For some reason, her appearance feels unsettling. To begin with, given the heightened security, the parking entrance should be strictly sealed. Yet the figure looks like a civilian.
May I check on something?
The girl calls to the SAT captain over the radio. Noticing some slight interference, she looks down to adjust the frequency dial.
If you look towards my left, in front of the luggage loading bay is...
But during the moment she looked away, the figure disappeared.
She's not there. That can't be.
The girl looks around, but the figure is nowhere to be seen. Where could she have gone in this open space, with nowhere to hide?
What's the matter?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was apparently seeing things.
The girl shuts off the radio. Who was that just now? Was I truly seeing things? With those questions in mind, the girl tries to remember the figure's appearance in detail. Only then does she realize the cause of her unease. That light blue dress the figure wore. It was very similar to the one she herself had once. Oh, I missed the line. Oh well. The girl puts those thoughts aside and returns to the aircraft. The mission does not end with taking the culprits into custody. In truth, along with defusing the situation, securing the safety of one particular passenger was her highest priority. This fact was not revealed to SAT. The passenger was originally seated in first class, but would have been forced to move. The girl looks carefully through the restless passengers. It is not long before she finds the face she seeks. Looking relieved, the girl walks towards the passenger in question.
Are you all right, Mitsuru-san?
Aigis, I didn't think you'd be the one to come.
The woman who answers has long, shining hair that would make an impression on anyone. Even sitting quietly in her seat, her refined appearance makes her stand out. But Aigis knows the woman well.
In fact, I was surprised to be called on to deal with something like this. The suspects made no demands. What were they after? At first, I thought I was summoned because you were their target, Mitsuru-san.
The higher-ups must have thought the same thing and panicked. Especially considering there's cargo on that plane they wouldn't want made public. Wait a second, that cargo...
Is something wrong?
This hijack seems strange now that I think about it. They made their move before takeoff, which is odd timing. And they forced the boarding announcement to be stopped. I thought maybe it was their way of trying to pull it off with a small team.
Are you saying that rather than a passenger, they were after that car? It's true that no one would consider the unloaded luggage during a hijacking.
I guess I need you to check on my things. Though if I'm right, it's already too late.
In response, Aigis instructs her team via radio to secure all luggage transport routes. Moreover, she requests a search to ensure that no cargo has been taken.
Even if you're right, why would they be interested in your belongings?
My usual cargo wouldn't be worth hijacking a plane over. But I was carrying something sensitive this time. Normally, if they wanted it, they'd have to bypass a Kirijo facility's security or attack the vehicle transporting it. But by doing it this way, they can divert the entire country's attention with a few model guns.
Mitsuru smiles. Aigis can tell she is impressed with their audacity despite herself.
Mitsuru-san's cargo. Sensitive belongings for a vacation. Ah, I understand. Hijacking a plane out of a desperate desire for undergarments. This incident will surely go down in history.
I guess you're too good for this world. Mitsuru's eyes bulge at the unexpected comment.
What? You're jumping to conclude. That's it. Enough about underwear.
She forces a cough and steers the conversation back on track.
More accurately, my cargo contained items from Ergo Research. My trip to Kagoshima was partly vacation, but also to oversee their transferal to Yakushima.
Excuse me. The official name of Ergo Research is the Kirijo Ergonomics Research Lab. Excuse me. Both Mitsuru and Aigis have many bitter memories associated with the name. A pall hangs in the air. She is amazing. But a radio transmission from one of Aigis' team cuts the moment short.
Aigis speaking.
Mitsuru looks at Aigis questioningly and she nods.
It's as you suspected. They found that one of the boxes scheduled for transport has gone missing.
I thought as much.
With a small sigh, Mitsuru rises from her seat.
We must get it back, I guess. The rest of the team can finish up here. I need you to come with me.
Aigis inspects Mitsuru's face carefully.
Will you be joining the search as well?
Well, I am personally involved, so yes.
In other words, you will officially rejoin the unit and participate in this mission. To be more direct, is it accurate to say that you are abandoning your vacation?
Mitsuru sighs with some exhaustion. Aigis interprets her silence as approval.
Then I hereby transfer command authority to you, Mitsuru-san. Regulations state that the member with the lowest serial number is to take command. And since you are member number 1, the official leader of the Security Department Shadow Response Unit, also called the Shadow Operatives.
I had a feeling I wouldn't be able to enjoy this vacation for long.
Traveling with cargo from Ergo Research suggests that her vacation was neither relaxing nor cheerful.
But I can't allow anyone to be hurt again by the things we, the Kirijo group, created. We'll get this cargo back at all costs. Mission or no mission, I'm making it a personal priority.
Understood.
Aigis answers loudly and snaps off the police, or something. I missed it. I was pressing A too fast. I am Aigis. My official name is 7th Generation Anti-Shadow Suppression Weapon. As my name implies, I am not human. I am a humanoid weapon, essentially a robot. Though with the right clothes, a surprising number of people cannot tell the difference. I was created in a research lab owned by one of the world's foremost conglomerates, the Kirijo Group. I was made to exterminate a certain enemy. Death. Himself. They are called shadows, monsters born from people's repressed emotions. Granted dark life. Shadows can only be defeated by those with special powers of personas. One's persona is said to be the power to wield the shadow within. There are two sides of the same coin, though one cannot have a persona if they do not have a heart. I was given a mind to artificially develop a persona and a body close to that of a human, so that my mind could maintain a personality, a heart designed for battle, a body designed for battle. I did endure some suffering because of my original purpose. But I now have a place where I belong. Somewhere I can make full, beneficial use of my powers. That is the Security Department Shadow Response Unit. Our nickname is the Shadow Operatives. The Shadow Operatives were formed at Mitsuru Kirijo's directive. She is the scion of my creators, the Kirijo group, as well as the one who has been given full responsibility for handling the shadows. Yeah. I heard it too, Beardy. I heard it too. Our objective is to identify and resolve incidents involving shadows. We do this by eliminating them. All of our members are persona users, or have similar qualifications during operations. Our guidelines state that the member with the smallest penis has command. I'm sorry. The number that I was issued was number 5. Though I'm not human, I am treated as a member and not a piece of equipment. Moreover, my number is in the single digits. It's possible that there will be missions like today where I must take command of dangerous operations. In other words, I am recognized as having the same life and dignity as humans. Because Mitsuru-san and the others have such trust in me, I want to repay that trust with results. There is another reason I am working my hardest on this case. Soon after the hijacking was resolved, the stolen cargo was identified. Its contents surprised me. The 5th generation anti-shadow suppression weapon. The unit named Labris. She is one of my sister units. She was sealed over a decade ago and has been in storage with other artifacts ever since. Labris, a humanoid weapon just like me. I mean, I don't know, maybe Akihiko has a number? I don't know why Junpei would be a number above, I guess. And, you know, Yukari's pretty reliable. Who else? I mean, I hate Ken. I forgot he existed. I was like thinking through characters and I'm like, canonically Shinji dies. I guess there's a stupid child man. And if she does, I want to save her before she is misused. This is a mission, yes, but more than that, I feel that it is a duty I must carry out. The next day, May 2nd, 2012, we wanted to pursue the vehicle carrying Labris as soon as the hijacking was over, but its complicated route made it hard to track. Due to the sensitive nature of the cargo, it is difficult to set up large-scale traffic checkpoints. Fortunately, the license plate number was determined quickly, and we got a rough estimate of its destination. Our headquarters were moved to a police facility. Mitsuru-san and our team are sorting out the situation to plan for an operation.
And the interrogation of the suspects?
It's begun, but all of them are claiming that their memories at the time are very foggy, so they've been sent in for evaluation. The psychologists who interviewed them think it's possible they're not lying.
So none of the 5 have any memories of what happened during the hijacking.
Normally that would seem preposterous. There may have been some hypnotic effect, but even then...
We're dealing with someone after materials from Ergo research. They'll likely be very well informed about shadows and the mind. Knowing that, it doesn't seem so strange. It would also explain the extreme lengths they went to create a decoy. What else do we know?
Another team member answers Mitsuru-san's question.
Since the cage storing the 5th generation is too large to transport by personal auto, we narrowed our search to large vehicles that left the airport. That, combined with the testimony from our observer and data from the transmitter, allowed us to pinpoint the vehicle in question. The police are already pursuing it via the N system. This is the most recent photo.
He hands the tablet to Mitsuru-san.
The Inaba area. Wasn't this the place where...
Yes, our routine investigation last year rated the potential shadow activity in the area at level 4.
It seems that the culprit in this case had prior knowledge of shadows after all. If that is true, we must use extra caution. Many people do not know about shadows, though they are enough of a threat to possibly destroy the world. Then again, I experienced that for myself 3 years ago. If someone is trying to manipulate them, we must prevent it at all costs.
Let's talk about the stolen 5th generation unit.
Oh, cool!
Aigis, as the 7th generation, would be her younger sister.
A sister. My older sister.
I'd like to know why she was sealed.
5th generation anti-shadow suppression weapon, Labris. The records show her to be the first model fitted with an artificial personality.
In other words, she has a heart?
There's no knowing if it was developed enough to call it that. She seems to have been made to gather test data rather than actual field use.
What are her combat capabilities?
She wasn't given firearms, since her regulatory system was inadequate. So she was instead loaded with some kind of special equipment. Unfortunately, the majority of the records pertaining to her are missing, which means that's the extent of our knowledge.
Special equipment?
We also don't know why she was sealed. Many of the documents regarding the old ergo research were lost, probably to cover up incriminating evidence. We don't even know what she looks like. All we do know is that she was a life-sized android.
We'll just have to find out along the way.
Mitsuru-san swipes her fingers across the tablet a few times and shows it to an aide.
I'll need these 3 individuals' cooperations. I'd like to join them in the field.
Are you sure about this?
Try not to make a scene when fetching them. Not all of them are part of our organization.
The aide nods his assent and returns to his station. Mitsuru-san then turns her gaze on me.
And Aigis, frankly, I think we can assume that there'll be combat involved. Will you be alright with that?
Though Mitsuru-san doesn't say it out loud, I understand what she means. Our highest priority is this operation is to stop the culprit and mitigate any associated danger, not to rescue Labris. Of course, we will strive to accomplish both, but in the worst case scenario, we must consider the option of destroying Labris. Destroying a sister unit. It will be a painful experience if she too has a heart.
I thank you for your concern, but I'll be fine. I will do my duty.
Mitsuru-san says nothing more and silently nods.
Well then, once we can confirm our target is headed to Inaba, we'll depart at once.
May 3rd, 2012. As we get ready to depart for Inaba, Mitsuru-san and I go over last-minute details inside the police station. Mitsuru-san is absorbed with issuing instructions over the cell phone she is holding. Pessimism seeps into my heart as I wait. I begin muttering to myself.
Will we be able to find Labris? My sister?
Ooh! One of those eyes looking a little funky, I guess. I don't know what happened, but it looks a little wonky there. I think Aigis can eat, but it needs to be, like, removed from her body. Or, like, she pops open a compartment and takes it out. It's like, food. Mitsuru-san's surprised voice makes me realize how unlike me these doubts are.
Will we be able to save her? Isn't that what you really want to ask? Don't worry. As I mentioned to Akihiko, fighting Labris is not our priority. The reason I formed this shadow operative team is to save lives. We will find her, whatever it takes, and bring her back. We can do this.
Yes. I'm sorry to be so pessimistic.
Those feelings you have for Labris, you should tell her when you see her.
I will.
Friends bound by trust are irreplaceable indeed. I hope that Labris will become one as well. Eventually, the preparations are made and our limousine departs on its journey to Inaba. That evening, we are in Inaba now and traveling down a midtown street. Though it is called Midtown, it is very different from an urban environment. It is a quiet, rustic road. The vehicle we are targeting is easily discovered. The transmitter that was attached to it when it left for the airport is, luckily for us, still active. But the vehicle has been abandoned and the cargo is gone as well. To trace it further, we must learn why the culprit came here. Specifically, we need to know the details of what happened last year. Though this was already assumed, so we have a plan. Mitsuru-san orders the driver to park nearby. However, this poses an unexpected problem. Our vehicle is a long black 8-door limousine. It'll stand out in this countryside town no matter where it's parked.
Mitsuru-san, our activities are supposed to be undercover, correct?
Yes.
For undercover missions, it will be necessary to keep all personnel and vehicles from being noticed.
Right.
Mitsuru-san.
No.
Understood.
All I told them was to give us a car with enough space.
Wherever we go, people peer into the windows out of curiosity. We avoid the public eye as much as possible and finally park in what looks like a site for vehicle disposal on the outskirts of the town.
Our contact has arrived.
I then notice a middle-aged man in a gray suit standing outside of the window. I recognize his face. He is one of the 3 collaborators Mitsuru-san contacted before our departure. I scoot over to the door and open the window.
Oh my! This was not our designated meeting area, yet he has discovered us.
Suddenly, something not unlike exasperation or disappointment appears on his face.
You want to know how I did it?
A cough interrupts us.
We appreciate your cooperation, Detective Kurosawa.
Mitsuru-san gets out of the vehicle and slightly bows. 3 years ago, when we were still fighting shadows in secret, Detective Kurosawa worked as a police officer at a nearby police office. He believed that our intentions were good and supplied us with certain conveniences under the table. His job made this risky, but he always acted on behalf of what he believed to be just. He's said this many times while supporting us in secret. He is a strong man, one who always acts on his belief. But now our organization has official government sanction. He can now cooperate with us without being considered a dissident? Da-da-da? I don't know. In fact, now that Kurosawa-san's prior actions are justified, he's been promoted for his expertise. I have heard that he is now a plainclothes detective working at the Central Precinct.
Long time no see, miss. And Aigis, was it?
Indeed.
Kurosawa-san fixes his eyes on Mitsuru-san and me. It is faintly awkward. We are both dressed for combat, and I am not wearing any clothes to cover my true form.
Oh, sorry for staring. A humanoid weapon. I was skeptical when I heard, but seeing you in person doesn't leave any room for doubt.
I'm sorry that I kept it hidden back then.
It's all right. It would have caused more of a headache if you'd gone around looking like that.
Hearing him say that, I cannot help but smile.
Seeing you laugh like that makes it harder to believe you're a machine.
I shouldn't make you stand while we talk. Please, get in.
Sorry. I haven't seen you in a while, so I had a lot to say.
Mitsuru-san asked Kurosawa-san to collect information on the serial murder case that occurred in this town last year. When background investigations were carried out across Japan at the end of 2011, this region showed high readings of shadow activity. But although it was investigated, there were no effects apart from slightly unnatural weather. Then again, what if something happened that was just too hard to detect? Mitsuru-san suspects that the serial murder case was related to these shadows and asks Kurosawa-san to have the local police force share their reports. We could not have requested them directly, but what we wanted would not be the surface information found in the investigation records. There are limits to what an unofficial unit cloaked by authority can do with a direct request.
I found out quite a bit regarding the case you had me look into. First, I reviewed the report on the incidents from last year. One of the suspects mentioned the word persona.
I lock gazes with Mitsuru-san.
So what went on here last year?
It's probably related, but I wasn't done there. Parts of this guy's testimony were even more outlandish. If you can take what's in the record at face value, it seems persona users can enter TVs within the Inaba region.
Enter TVs? What does that mean?
Just what it sounds like. You physically stick your body into the screen and go inside. He claimed there was another world in the TV, and dropping people inside it was the method behind last year's murders.
This all sounds rather absurd. I'm surprised it was included in the police report.
I got in touch with the detective in charge at the time and said the same thing. Apparently the report was filed by a young partner of his at the time. He'd entertained the wildest testimonies like this one.
He sounds like quite the oddball.
If this was what really went on, the police would have had no chance cracking it. But that Detective Dojima is one shrewd guy. Even with all the supernatural hocus-pocus surrounding the case, he caught the culprit.
Kurosawa-san sighs. He seems to be tired.
That's all I have for you right now. I should be going. I doubt either of us has time to reminisce over the old days. It's funny, though. I thought the fighting was over, but you guys surprise me every time I see you.
Thank you very much, Officer Kurosawa. Why don't we at least see you off?
Oh, that's all right. I've got my own car. I doubt my department would appreciate your tastes. If I ever showed up for work in something like this, I'd be the talk of the force until the day I retired.
He opens the door and exits the vehicle. He gives a short farewell and leaves without turning back.
Mitsuru-san, this could be bad. Our sense of social aptitude is in question.
I can't deny that.
What should we do now?
Yeah, first, we'll need to test the claim that persona users can enter TVs.
Hearing this makes me realize something. Although I had called it a vehicle disposal site, looking around I could now see there are also household electronics, like refrigerators, discarded here as well. In a corner is a stack of TVs.
There's a discarded TV over there. If the environment does not matter, we can use it to test the phenomenon.
I voluntarily get out of the vehicle.
Wait, Aigis.
Don't worry. I'm just going to touch it.
I extend my right hand and touch the screen of the biggest TV I can see. My fingers brush the glass screen. But although I seem to be touching it, I feel no resistance from its surface. I push my hand forward a little more. A weak light runs across the screen and my forearm sinks into it.
Amazing!
Rings of light spread from the contact of my arm, rippling like water across a pond.
Interesting. It's exactly as the police report said. What's it like inside? Do you feel anything?
Not particularly. No. Wait a moment.
My sensor detects a sensation I've never felt before. But the knowledge of what it has already been recorded within me.
It's the same as mine. It's hard to say definitively since this is my first encounter with it, but I believe this reading is from a personality module.
Does that mean our retrieval target is inside the TV?
Huh. Sounds like fun.
I hear a voice coming from an unexpected direction. Mitsuru-san and I look towards it. What we see is a silhouette wearing a low hood that covers his eyes and a tattered cape. It billows in the wind, looking just like a character in a Western movie. He is standing atop a mountain of trash, his arms crossed.
Akihiko?
He jumps down nimbly and walks towards us.
You didn't show up at the rendezvous point, so I went looking and found you here. This whole TV thing is pretty interesting.
I would never forget the man laughing so fearlessly. Like Mitsuru-san, he is a friend I once fought alongside, Akihiko Sanada. He was a student boxing champion in his school days, and a staunch ally, powerful even without his persona. He is also our second collaborator on this case.
It's been a while, Akihiko-san.
Yeah, good seeing you.
Akihiko, what on earth are you wearing? Just what were you doing overseas?
Didn't I tell you that I was on a training expedition?
Well, that doesn't explain your clothes.
Don't tell me you came here from the airport like that. Does the concept of keeping a low profile mean nothing to you?
It's pretty good. I love Aigis so much.
Mitsuru-san, I believe we have lost the right to complain about that.
Mitsuru-san sighs in annoyance. Oh yes, Akihiko-san was on a training expedition overseas until this morning. As a result, his appearance is very different from the last time I saw him. But his aggressive personality and love of a challenge seem to be as same as always. He gives a cocky smile and smacks his palm with his fist.
Anyway, we can get inside from that TV, right? And what are we waiting for?
Still the same Akihiko. We don't know the situation inside yet, and we'll need a secure means of getting out.
So what? If we want to get this Labrys back, someone has to go inside, right?
Well, that's...
Our target hijacked a plane to throw her into a TV in this town. If we sit on our hands, it's possible we'll be put in serious danger.
Akihiko-san steps towards Mitsuru-san as if pressing her.
We're different from how we used to be. We made the choice to fight shadows as professionals. That's why I traveled around the world and trained harder than ever.
And I'm still not good enough.
And now that something's actually come up, you're hesitating? We agreed to do this. I'm ready to stake my life on the mission.
Akihiko-san's opinion is a bit strong, but he is not incorrect. It could be Akihiko-san understands that being slightly forceful is his role, because Mitsuru-san takes caution seriously. As the ultimate authority in this case, she frequently second-guesses herself. But I've seen Akihiko-san's words cut through her hesitation in the past. It shows his trust in Mitsuru-san not to make decisions in error.
All right. Wait right here. I need to go make a phone call first.
Okay, but make it quick.
The other members will wait here in the car.
Yeah. If we all barge in and something happens, they'll be devastated.
Now that you mention it, at least one of us should be staying behind as well.
I am not staying.
Us three will be plenty. We'll end this in a flash. No problem.
The same as always. Although, we have no idea what might be waiting for us on the other side. Don't get careless.
Right.
This situation, it brings back memories.
Ready!
All right.
Why enter the TV? What's going on?
Ugh. I am surrounded by a white light that strains most of my sensors to their limits. A portion of my sensors indicate that I am currently in a state similar to freefall. I can't tell up and down from left and right. This continues for a while. I am now in a music room. Eventually my functions slowly recover. I find myself inside an unknown room sitting on the ground. I quickly stand and check my surroundings.
Is this the music room of a school?
I can see a music stand, a grand piano, a blackboard, and portraits. There is an air of over-exaggerated theatrics to it, but I may not be far from the truth. Is this the world inside the TV? After the surreality of entering a TV screen, this comes as quite a surprise.
No sign of Mitsuru-san or Akihiko-san. Did they land elsewhere? So much noise. I can't contact anyone like this.
I attempt to use my communicator, but there is no response. This looks like an ordinary classroom, but it has an alarming amount of radio interference. When I concentrate my senses again, I detect a bizarre disturbance from the entire area that is unlike normal buildings. This may be another world after all. In any case, I must join up with Mitsuru-san and Akihiko-san. But just as I begin to make plans to do so, the monitor hanging from the ceiling switches on. What appears on it is, how to describe it, a bizarre figure that looks like a living costume.
I spy an unknown yet bewitching babe. How unexpected! Unexpected!
Its comical tone does not last long before the voice becomes distorted and the image disappears. It reminds me of a malfunctioning machine. I stare at the monitor. I have a hunch that it will return soon. Just as I thought, the costume reappears, but its behavior is very different now.
Case 04, unintended intruder. Entering elimination process.
Its mechanical surrounding voice is completely different from the joking tone it had before, and that phrase, elimination process. It seems that a battle will be starting. I release the safeties from the weapons built into my body. That's when a large noise comes from behind me.
Whoa!
A young man in a school uniform comes rolling in with a yell.
A human?
Ow! Jeez, they decided to open right then. This makes no damn sense.
I thought that I was ready for any eventuality, but I had not expected to suddenly encounter a human.
Are you all right? You seem to be unharmed.
The young man looks back at me with a steely gaze. I almost said sleazy. Steely gaze while fixing his bleached hair with his fingers. His behavior does not seem to be that of one who came in pursuit of me.
What? Never seen you before.
I'm sorry, I haven't introduced myself.
Only then do I remember that my appearance would seem very peculiar to a casual observer.
I'm a transfer student. I have blue eyes, blonde hair, Gatling cannon.
Huh?
I'm sorry, forget what I said. In the past, that prepared explanation for students has been effective, but no longer.
Okay. Anyways, I'm Kanji Tatsumi. This mean you're my next opponent?
Opponent? What do you mean?
What do I mean? I'm talking about a scrap!
You mean a fight? But we have only met Tatsumi-san. Actually, where are we?
She's the best. I love her. I'm living my best life right now being Aigis.
Enough blabbering, you machine!
With a yell, he slams the folding chair in his hand on the ground. A cold, dull, metallic sound echoes and eliminates any possibility for talking this over.
What's a fake girl like you doing calling me by my name?
Oh no! Don't hurt my baby girl! Oh. I go quiet. A fake girl. I understand how I might elicit such a reaction, but there is a pain in my chest. Though I cannot help but smile at how instinctively I reacted that way. It seems I have become more human-like than I knew.
I was worried I might have to go up against my senpai, but I ain't gonna hold back against a robot like you.
Thinking with a calm mind, I notice a small incongruity in his attitude. When he first saw me, he seemed unsure and claimed that he had not seen me before. Yet though he knows now that I am a machine, he doesn't seem particularly surprised. Aren't those two things contradictory? I focus my senses once more and enhance the gain on my sensors. I detect a faint interference. Because it had appeared uniformly across all my sensors, I hadn't been aware of it. What is this?
You're not gonna do anything. I'll make the first move. Take Mikazuchi!
A persona?
Light flickers intermittently. Could that be electricity? A thick barrel-like arm charged with voltage approaches from above. I jump back and narrowly escape a crushing blow.
Nice dodge. Looks like you got at least a little bit of fight in you.
A persona user. I was careless. I should have expected that possibility since I encountered him inside the TV. I do not know the procedure for attacking a human, but if he's a persona user, I must defend myself with the usual armaments.
There is no avoiding this fight. I cannot fall here.
She's amazing. All right, let's see how Aigis fights.
Final. Fight!
Boring! Damn it! That's nothing! Damn it! Don't underestimate! Take this! Right!
Gyro failure.
One more! Smash down!
I must simply wait.
Damn it!
Go down. Going. Persona.
It's nothing!
Going. Persona.
It's nothing!
Persona.
Not too cool.
She's so cute. Ah, look at her.
Are you all right, Tatsumi-san?
I help Tatsumi-san up off the ground and call to him. After repeating myself several times, I hear a groan.
No! Damn it!
Thank you.
Oh, whoa! Hands off!
I'm sorry. If you can't stand, then I'll carry you.
Oh, you can carry me any day, I guess. I pick up Tatsumi-san, who is still lying down with both arms.
Whoa! Damn! You're a hell of a lot stronger than you look. Whoa, 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 whoa! How come you're carrying me like this? Like a bride or something?
Look at our bi icon. I love him.
This is the spousal method of carrying.
No, it ain't. It's the bridal. Oh, wait a sec. Are they pretty much the same thing?
Tatsumi-san, you seem completely fine.
That's what I've been saying. And stop with the
So
Tatsumi-san crap. It's making my skin crawl. Just call me Kanji.
You don't object to being called that? I'm an artificial person, after all.
Huh? Who cares? If I say it's fine, then it's fine. And will you put me down already?
When I put Kanji-san down as requested, he turns his back and repeatedly scratches his head. I feel as if his demeanor has changed compared to how it was before the fight. His loud voice and rough words are the same, but the sense that he will not listen to a word I say is gone. I feel that I can make myself understood now.
Well then, Kanji-san, allow me to ask again. Where are we? And what did you mean by opponent?
Huh? You're not an enemy that Ted set up for me?
Ted. Are you referring to the bear who appeared on the monitor?
This is a fighting tournament. Only the winners get to keep going. I lost this time. But oh well. I wouldn't make it in the big leagues.
That sounds like something Akihiko-san would say.
Huh?
Sorry, I was just talking to myself.
Gotta say, you pack one hell of a punch. You got me real good.
Punch? But I didn't throw any punches.
Listen, though, the rest of this
I
tournament
shot
ain't
you
gonna
multiple
be so
times
easy.
with
My
bullets.
senpai waiting up ahead.
There are more people here. Could you estimate how many?
Kanji-san smiles dauntlessly and gives me a thumbs up. I don't really understand why, but I give him a thumbs up as well. Good job. Then Kanji-san keels over. I rush to catch him. When I look into his face, he's still smirking, but is passed out. It seems he was fighting through his fatigue for the sake of his pride. He doesn't seem injured, so I carefully set him back down on the floor. Suddenly that costume, Kanji-san called it Ted, appeared again on the monitor.
Intruders are persona users. Due to difficulties in elimination, they will be acknowledged as valid targets.
Excuse me. I've been, oh. There we go. Sorry, my wings got in the way. I've had to wake up quite a bit earlier the past few days because we got a puppy on Friday. So it's been a lot of work, but I'm very excited. I am a sweepy puppy. I've been waking up at like 7 a.m. so I might be a tad bit tired. I might end stream an hour early tonight just because I'm feeling slappy. The intruders must have been me and the others. Since I won't be easy to eliminate, it appears that he's changing tactics. But what could he mean by valid targets? The monitor screen turns off once again. Just like before, it flickers back on after a few seconds. It is the same face as before, but a completely different attitude.
Woohoo! What a fox! Came to join in on our fun? I'm A-okay with that if you're up for a little fighting. I'll wait for you in the next arena up ahead.
This is more how he sounded at the beginning. He's gone back to normal, or at least recovered from the abnormality.
Oh, silly me. If you're cutting in, you don't know who I am. I am General Teddy. Remember that name well.
General Teddy. Apparently, he really is a teddy bear. He doesn't seem like one, but a number of things he said caught my attention. Joining in our fun and arena. That's the name of this fucking game. These are in line with the tournament Kanji-san has mentioned. Is this tournament being held here? But the monitor is silent once again and does not return. I do not think I will make any progress if I remain here. I poke my head through the door where Kanji-san appeared to check my surroundings. What looks like a school hallway leads straight ahead. There appears to be no danger nearby. I manage to hoist Kanji-san's body over my shoulder and try to leave the room.
What?
Something gets stuck and prevents me from proceeding. Fuck. Oh no. It doesn't sound right. I stop and check, but I cannot see any obstructions. Both of the sliding doors fell off when Kanji-san came in, and the way is completely open. It should be wide enough for me to pass through easily, even with a person over my shoulder. Yet I cannot proceed. Something is getting stuck. I slow my walking speed and check to see what part of me is getting caught. That is how I discover something surprising. Nothing is blocking the way, yet only Kanji-san's body cannot pass through the door. It seems there is an invisible wall, one that is selective and prevents only Kanji-san's passage between the room and the hallway. Something Kanji-san said comes back to me. Only the winners get to keep going. Is that what he meant? I increase the sensitivity of my various sensors, but I cannot detect any wall here. I have no way of destroying what I cannot touch, which means I have no choice but to leave Kanji-san here.
Oh well. I will come back for you later. Please stay safe until then.
Adorable. Oh my god, she's so caring. Once he comes around, he's still a persona user. It's not as if I'm leaving someone behind who can't fend for himself. I reluctantly convince myself to move on. While moving down the hallway, my sensors continue to pick up disturbances from everything in the school. It all looks so normal, though. There is a line of glass windows on the wall. Outside is a field level with the ground I am walking on. I seem to be on the first floor of the building. Eventually, I reach a doorway and cautiously venture outside. There is barely any difference in temperature or atmospheric composition compared to the real world, but the lack of wind is unnatural, and there are other discrepancies between here and there. I turn around and inspect the building's exterior. This is indeed a school. I walk along the wall and go around the building. Soon I've reached what seems to be the main gate. I turn towards the school building once again and come to a realization.
I recognize this place.
I have seen a photo from this angle in the preparation materials. As I recall, this is a high school in Inaba. To make sure, I step past the school gate and check the nameplate. The name engraved on the gate's pillars is Yasogami High School. I cross-reference the name with a map of the area and find a match. This is confusing. A real-world location has been completely recreated inside the TV. Why is it structured like a nesting boxes? Just then, I sense something move in the corner of my vision. I quickly turn to view its head-on. It is a uniformed girl. She is running straight through in the opposite direction of the field. Is she a student? No, that is not a real school. Could she be one of the senpai Kanji-san spoke of? But a moment's thought highlights an important detail. Her pale skin and hair color. There can be no mistake. It's the girl I saw for a moment at the airport after the hijacking. I immediately chase after her. But the girl is much faster than I anticipate, and I cannot close the distance. I release a portion of my foot speed limiters and finally get close, until I am able to grasp her right arm from behind.
Huh?
The girl stops and turns around. There is surprise on her face as she stares in wide-eyed wonder at my form. Though I am surprised myself, the instant I take her hand, a flash of intuition charges through me like electricity. This girl is Labris. I am unaccountably convinced.
Who are you? That's one funny-looking costume you've got on.
Oh, well,
Oh, of course. You're mixed up in this racket, too, aren't you?
Racket? Does she mean the tournament?
No, I am not in this tournament of my own free will.
Really? Then you mind letting me go? I'm the student council president. I can't be letting people run wild at this school.
Student council president?
Didn't I tell you to let me go? Are you trying to get in the way of my work here?
The girl looks at me with an irritated expression. How strange. She speaks as if she really is leading an ordinary life here at school. If she was aware that she was inside the TV, would she say such things to me?
If you happen to know, could you please tell me what sort of place this is?
Huh? It's the first floor of the classroom building. Can't you tell?
Huh? Is it possible that you don't recall entering a TV?
A TV? Listen, I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm kind of in a hurry here. Can I go now?
Before you do, please tell me something. Who are you?
Who? What'd you stop me for if you didn't even know? I just told you. I'm the student council president. What hole have you been hiding in? The elections were just last week. Are we done now? 'Cause I got places to be.
The girl ends the conversation sternly, shakes off my hand and runs away again. In an instant, she has disappeared into the school building.
Please, wait!
I go after her, but just as I enter the hallway and round the first bend, something blocks my path. But I can't see what it is at all. I can't see it, yet when I reach out my hand, I can feel it. I think I know what this is.
That wall again.
The invisible wall that prevented Kanji-san's passage. It's most likely the same thing. Once again, I am surprised. I can touch it, yet my sensors detect nothing. And it's much stronger than I had imagined. It repels even gunfire. Physical strikes are nothing. I attempt various methods to destroy it, but before I can, the girl disappears from view.
It seems I am forced to try a different route.
I consider the situation once more. Was that girl truly Labrys? There are too many factors now indicating otherwise. Her appearance and the feel of her arm when I grasped it a moment ago. Both are strong signs that she is a human. If she is entirely artificial, then she could not be part of an older generation of models than myself. Her speaking voice and behavior were both also indicative of known human patterns. According to the records of Labrys's development, she was sealed away soon after. Even I stumble with natural human speech. She could not have become that proficient in so short of a time. She's not a machine, but a human, so she cannot be Labrys. Usually I would not hesitate to make such judgment based on the available data, yet I still cannot shake the feeling that she may be Labrys. That intuition I felt earlier, what caused it? This case remains murky. I feel as if my senses are being muffled by a thin cloth. But I cannot leave her be. Even if she is not Labrys, the fact itself means she's in danger. I quickly look for an alternative route. Back at the front. Take it back now, y'all. I backtrack the way I came and run outside. Suddenly I am enveloped in a tidal wave of sound. These are human voices. The cheering comes from an enormous crowd. I turn around and a thick mass of people run towards me out of nowhere. They are boys and girls in school uniforms. It is clear that everyone is looking at me.
This is impossible.
How did I fail to detect so many humans? But then I notice it. There is white noise running through all my sensors. It is the same feeling that I had before fighting Kanji-san. What is this? As I stand in thought, the students close in on me. I ask what business they have with me, but the uproar drowns out my voice. I cannot attack them, so I have no choice but to edge backwards. Soon my back is against a wall. I look around for an escape route. Luckily, there was a door beside me. I hurry inside to find shelter. The room I have entered appears to be spacious. It is dark here, but I believe it is the gymnasium. Here and there, folding chairs and gym equipment are piled in heaps. It looks like the result of some strange ritual. Suddenly, a light shines in the corner. Upon closer inspection, I can see a monitor showing something. It is airing some familiar faces.
Rivals. They are.
Not watching this scene again. Too many times. I'm not sure what to say about that video. It seems to be modeled after promotional videos for martial arts tournaments. I noticed appearances by Kanji-san and the host General Teddy. The other people shown must also be participants. It is safe to assume they are all Persona users. As if watching my reactions from somewhere, General Teddy appears on the monitor replacing the video. Yay!
Looks like you're officially getting in on the action. Welcome! Look, everyone! Another challenger!
Without warning, there is a loud sound. The doors in every direction open at once. Excited students pour in, cheering and yelling. Before I know it, I am surrounded by people with no means of escape. General Teddy grins at my situation and raises his stubby arm.
Well then, bring out the next opponent!
A spotlight shines on a spot where the crowd parts. A female student cannot be seen. She has short hair and wears a jacket. She looks very athletic. I recognize her face from the video. Her name was Chie Sotanaka. She steps in front of me, bouncing from foot to foot.
I heard that you're elbowing in on the tournament. Suits me fine. Let's do this!
As she finishes her speech, which was only a sentence, really, she takes a fighting stance.
Huh?
Just then, a gleaming silhouette appears behind her. It is another persona. Chie-san extends her hand, palm facing up, and motions with her fingers taunting me.
Ooh, she's ready and raring to go!
Yay! This is strange. Chie-san's willingness to fight is odd enough, but even stranger are the students in the crowd. Even when seeing a persona up close, they show no signs of alarm. Come to think of it, how did they get here? I cannot believe that they are all persona users. But even if they were, would they be so excited over such brutality? While stuck in a mysterious world filled with potential dangers? That does not seem likely. Perhaps my basic assumptions are faulty. Could they, like these buildings, be unreal? Unreal Engine 5? I cannot jump to conclusions, but I decide to take the offensive. I turn to the monitor. General Teddy is bouncing up and down gleefully.
I will fight on one condition.
Which is?
Interesting. He answered me. I can hold a conversation with him, which means he can see and hear
That
me.
you immediately release all these students from this school, or rather from this world. If you do that, I will fight as you wish.
Tut tut! Are you making demands to me? Before you get too worried about other people, why not worry about yourself?
I will not fight unless you guarantee their safety.
I glare at General Teddy through the monitor. I didn't want to involve the students, but I have an idea.
Sheesh! What a stubborn girl!
He snaps his stubby fingers. The room instantly fills with light. I ward myself against it by covering my eyes. A few seconds later, the brightness fades to normal. As my eyes adjust, I see the students have vanished.
Ta-da! Is that what you wanted?
The general smiles proudly. My guess was correct. If the students were fake, it is easier for him to remove them than to talk me into fighting. As a result, my sensors detect the moment when the students disappear all at once. The only human here is Chie-san. Looking around, it seems that not everything disappeared. Human-like figures remain, as if the shadows of the students were burned into the scenery. There were several about the gymnasium. Their readings are similar to shadows, but they show no sign of hostility. So these are the true forms of those students. They have been unmasked.
Honestly, you're in no position to be making demands, you know.
Oh my god, yes.
Making an exception just this once, because it's no fun if you don't both go at it
Ugh.
tooth and claw.
Chie's like other
Don't
self is
resist.
so weird.
Your opponent will show no mercy. It'll be a grisly sight.
Come on! Even if the crowd was still here, would you not have hit back when I hit you?
No. The safety of the people must be prioritized above all else.
Ha! That's pretty cool of you, actually. But self-sacrifice doesn't mean much coming from a machine. They can just fix you right up.
Oh, leave her alone.
Oh,
No.
that's right. It doesn't even count as self-sacrifice for a machine. It's just what you're programmed to do. You probably don't feel pain or anything, huh? It just seemed that way because you look human.
You may not understand, but I can sense pain as well.
Really? That's such a weird thing to program into a weapon. Doesn't make any sense to me.
That's...
As I struggle to answer, Chie-san's smile widens.
Well, that's fine with me. Means I can fight you without pulling any punches.
Her smile disappears and her eyes spark with fire as she launches herself at me. Yeah, I don't know though. It's a little bit silly, just a little bit. Little itsy bitsy bit. I would rather not fight her, but she is a persona user. I clench my teeth and make myself ready to intercept her.
If I must fight you, then I will.
Don't know. I'ma fight Chie and then I think I gotta head out because I feel like I'm about to fall asleep on stream. And as much as y'all might be like, oh, sleeping Kenny might be cute, I'd be over here quietly snoring awkwardly.
Finally.
You need pain to develop a persona. Perfect fight. Woo-hoo! Alright, kitties. And I'm sorry it's an earlier stream. I feel like I should have gotten more of a nap in before today. But my schedule's just changing a little bit, so I'm just a little more exhausted. But I'm glad I was able to stream tonight nonetheless. With the new puppy and everything, life's just kind of changing, and my body just has to get used to it. But I wanted to thank you all for coming out tonight. It was great streaming. If I have more time this week, maybe I'll try to do an extra stream to kind of make up a little bit. I love you guys very, very much, and I'll see you all next time, okay? Have a great night, everyone. Bye!